Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know the deal on this channel. So about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, I want to talk about something that I've seen from the LeBron James side of things, from LeBron James himself. They don't seem to understand why people don't respect that 2020 bubble championship. And I just saw some comments from Daryl Morey, that clown Daryl Morey. This guy just never knows when to shut up and never says anything good. Daryl Morey's just a straight fool, guys. All right, I don't respect that clown. This is the same clown that was telling us that James Harden is the greatest scorer of all time, greater than Michael Jordan at scoring the basketball. James Harden, he said that. So let's remember that about Daryl Morey. But I heard some comments about Daryl Morey, and he was referring to how in NBA circles, people don't really respect the 2020 bubble championship like that. They just don't respect it or hold it in the same regard as a regular NBA season championship when you have to go through an entire 82-game season without any breaks in between. He talked about how they don't really respect it the same. And I saw a lot of comments from the LeBron James fans in the comment section of this post. I believe this was on Instagram that I saw this maybe. And all the comments said the same thing. People just not understanding why we don't respect that championship. A lot of people kept saying the same thing I keep saying all the time. Oh, it's only because the Lakers won the championship. If another team won it, then they would have respected. I saw a lot of people saying, a lot of LeBron James fans love to say that. Oh, if another team won besides LeBron James' team, then they would respect it. And once again, you guys are not getting why people don't respect that championship, but I'm going to break it down and explain it in this video, guys. We're going to talk about it in this video, man, because there's a couple of things that these fools are they're just missing out on. They don't seem to get. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man, that's been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, you know, I am truly, truly humbled by all support, man. Shout out to everybody in the membership, man. Everyone that emails, sends messages, likes my videos, comments. Thank you very much, guys, man. It means a lot. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, excuse me for a second. So, like I said, guys, I wanted to talk about that 2020 bubble championship in relation to some of the comments that I see from a lot of these LeBron James fans and what we've heard from LeBron James himself. Remember, he's told us that it was the hardest championship ever. Oh, it was the hardest championship. So I can easily say to the LeBron James fans, if LeBron James did not win that championship in 2020, if another team won the championship, would LeBron James be saying it's the hardest championship ever won? So once again, I can throw that same logic back at you clowns, right? Because like I said, I see a lot of these clowns out here not understanding or getting what we're trying to say. Why we don't respect that championship like other NBA championships, like other regular NBA seasons, when you have to go 82 games continuous, play the whole season, and then go right into a playoff scenario. What do we get now? Or what do we get in the 2020 championship, right? Everyone understands the league was suspended due to the COVID. No doubt about it, man. Everyone gets that, right? No one's upset about that. No one's confused as to why the season stopped. We all get that. They suspended the season due to COVID, right? But it's not only that they shut it down, guys. It's that the league started back up again. But not only did it start back up, it didn't start back up a month later or a week later. It started up 3 months later. Excuse me, actually not even 3 months, because I believe it ended in March. Then they continued in July. So if we go March to April is 1 month, April to May is 2 months, May to June is 3 months, and then June to July is 4 months, guys. So they had 4 months, over 4 months of a layoff in between when the season was suspended in March to when it began again at the end of July, guys. That's the one thing that I feel like LeBron James fans, they just don't want to talk about. They never mention. They talk about the players. They talk about there not being a crowd, and they try to flip it into that be making the players play their best. So you'll hear people say like, oh, there was no crowd. There was no travel. That means that the players had nothing to do but focus on basketball. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Is COVID was going on. Everything was getting shut down. People losing their jobs, people losing family members, people were dying out there. So for people to sit there and say, oh, the only thing they had to worry about was basketball is insane. Because there were a lot of people that did not come back and play the season. A lot of players sat out. And they couldn't just be focused on basketball because there were other things going on in the world. So I'm sure that a lot of those guys were concerned about what was going on out in the town or out in the world, maybe for their relatives and things of that nature. What we've often said in relation to the way that they were treated versus the regular, everyday, common folks is that these guys had all these luxuries that we couldn't even imagine, that we couldn't dream of. These guys weren't living in bunkers or in some barracks type scenario. You know, the way they try to make it seem as if life was so hard for them in the bubble. Make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, life was not hard for them, man. They were living like kings and queens in there. They were living like celebrities. They were living like the NBA basketball players that they are. So once again, the things you hear them complain about is them not being able to do things that celebrities can normally do. This is what we hear them complain about. Things that normal, everyday people don't complain about because we can't do those things. So let's get that clear off the jump. But that 4-month layoff was huge, ladies and gentlemen. What did we just hear from LeBron James, right, before the season ended or before the playoffs was over? What did LeBron James say? I did a video about this. He said that he wants there to be a month in between the regular season and the playoffs. A month off. Why do you think LeBron James said that, guys? Because having that time off to recuperate, to recover, right, to get your body back, get the health of it, not just you, but your whole team. Everyone could use that time off. It helps, doesn't it? So having 4 months off in between the season and essentially the playoffs is basically what happened, right? The season started. They played like 7 or 8 games for some kind of like scenario to get the rankings in order and all this stuff. So essentially you went from a regular season, had 4 months off, and then started a postseason. That obviously is a huge help, guys. It's a huge boost, especially for older players. LeBron James was 35 years old in 2020, guys. You think that didn't help him out immensely? What would that have done for Michael Jordan at the end of his career in 98 to have just 4 months off in between the regular season, the postseason? And they were going for a three-peat at that time. They weren't just going for one championship. I think the 98 Bulls could have used a 3-4 month layoff in between the playoffs and the regular season. Don't you guys think that would have helped them a lot? But these are a lot of the things, some of the things LeBron James fans don't want to talk about. You know, when we talk about, or when I mentioned the 82 games, right? And I told you that the guys back in the day, I'm not saying that they played every game. Guys missed games in other eras, absolutely. But I'm telling you guys that these guys, they gave the effort. They wanted to play every single night. They gave the effort to play the 82 games, guys. They wanted to. They tried. What do you get now? Now what I tell you is that these guys are always looking for excuses not to play the 82 games. So, like I've said before, if you're looking for an excuse, you will find it, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be there waiting for you if you're looking for one. So these guys always find an excuse to not play all 82. And then you'll hear people say, oh, well, they only missed 4 games, or they only missed 5 games. They only missed X amount of games. And they downplay the fact that they missed games. But I always tell you guys, like I said, it's not necessarily that they're missing the games. It's why they're missing the games. These guys are missing the games just to miss games now. Guys are missing games strategically just to sit out for rest. Meanwhile, the NBA has catered to them. There's not as many back-to-backs, not as many 3 games in 4 nights. The schedule has been spread out. They have all these luxuries, all the advantages of guys in the past. So why shouldn't they be able to play the 82 games? To me, playing the 82 games shouldn't even be a thing to a lot of these guys that are supposed to be bigger, stronger, faster. But the facts remain. They're not bigger, stronger, faster. They're not mentally tougher. And they don't love the game like that. They're not competitors like that. So, just like I just said, you'll have fans out there that say, oh, who cares? The guy only missed 4 games. Or the guy only missed 5 games. This is how the players think. Oh, who cares? I only missed 10 games. I only missed 5 games. And now the NBA has allowed these guys to miss a certain amount of games. Now they can miss 17 games and still qualify for a postseason accolade or any kind of, award. 17 games they're allowed to miss, guys. Insane. But let's think about this now. When someone says they just missed 2 games, let's say, for example, right? The guy played 80 games, not 82. The reason why I preach the 82 games and I tell you about the guys that tried to play, they went out there and gave the effort every night that they could. They didn't make up injuries or make up these lame excuses to miss games. Is when we think about Michael Jordan, right? Who's the standard out there? Michael Jordan, the game's greatest player, guys. Don't get it twisted. And like I said, the guy that we all recognize for giving effort, playing with that love of the game, man. Not shortchanging himself or the fans. It meant a lot for Michael Jordan to play all 82. So let's say that a player A plays 80 games, but Michael Jordan's playing the 82 games, like we know that he did many, many times. 8 times on the Chicago Bulls in 11 full seasons, he played 82 games. And yes, there were games or a couple of seasons where Michael Jordan played 80, I believe, and I think 79 or 78 games in a couple of those seasons. But if you miss 2 games, let's say, and people say, oh, he only missed 2 games. Well, that's 2 opportunities that you actually shortchange yourself from getting injured, let's say. So if you only played 80 games, but Michael Jordan was out there for every single game, then essentially what he's doing is he's putting himself on the line for those 2 extra games that may not be a big deal to the average fan or to the current players today. I only missed 2 games. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is quite simple. What if you played that 81st game and you broke your ankle? You played the 81st game, you tore your knee. You blew out your Achilles in that 81st game that you played. So once again, when you're shortchanging the games and you're only playing 75 games or 72 games or 70 games or 68 games and you're missing whatever amount of games you're missing, those are opportunities that other great players put themselves on the line in. Those guys were out there for the 80 games, for the 82 games, right? So they're putting themselves out there more often. They're putting their bodies in jeopardy more often. It's all increasing the odds of you getting injured. Also, when they talk about the stats these days, right? Everyone talks about stats now. Stats are a big thing. Your stats are going to be inflated. They're going to look better, right? Your game-by-game stats if you're playing less games. It's easier to average 30 for 65 games or 68 games than it is to average 30 for 82 games, ladies and gentlemen. That's why what Michael Jordan was doing, leading the league and scoring all those years, the way that he was while playing defense, while not missing any games. So once again, to average 31, 32 points a game, 33, 34, 35 points a game for an entire season without missing any games, it's much more difficult to do than if you missed, or you only played 70 games, let's say, for example, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so that's a big deal right there. But another point that the LeBron James fans fail to mention when we talk about this 2020 bubble championship, right? And why people don't respect it. So we get the layoff. That was a huge advantage for a lot of these teams. For a team like the Los Angeles Lakers. Like I said, for someone like LeBron James, who's 35 years old in 2020, having that 4 months off is huge for him. But he's going to act like that wasn't a big deal? Oh, it's the hardest championship to ever win because I couldn't just go in my car and drive down the street to the store. What the hell are you talking about? Dude, you could have rang the bell and somebody would have came and brought something to you hand over foot, man. I'm just tired of these guys acting as if they were living in a third world country, man. Just stop it right now. You guys want sympathy. You guys want all this stuff from the common folks out there that were living through hell. We were actually living through hell. Like I told you, man, I was a CrossFit coach during this time, man. And my friend, I was a business partner with my friend. He had to close his gym down. He had to close it down. And guess what, guys? He never opened it back up again. He had to sell all of his equipment just so he could survive, just so he could pay his mortgage. This is what real people do. Was LeBron James worried about his mortgage being paid? Was he worried about his bills? Stop it. But anyway, something else that we must keep in mind and think about was the fact that this seemed to be a fluke season for the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James, was it not? This is not like the Lakers were contenders in 2019 with LeBron James. And LeBron James had a groin injury, missed all these games. Even though he activated playoff mode when he came back, nothing happened. And they didn't even win 40 games, didn't even make the playoffs. Then the next year, the Lakers are looking good in the season, no doubt about it. But why are they looking good, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, it just so happened that Anthony Davis, one of the top players in the league, probably the best two-way player in the game at that time, up there with Giannis, he just happened to request a trade from his team. Oh, it just so happens that his best friend, or LeBron James' best friend, is his agent. Requested trade, ends up on the Lakers. We're not going to talk about that, though. LeBron James won't mention that. His fans won't mention Anthony Davis requesting a trade and ending up on the Lakers before the bubble season. So the Lakers looked great throughout the regular season, right? They were a top 5 defense because of Anthony Davis, right? And some of the other players they had, like Alex Caruso and the KCPs, right? Dwight Howard was on that team, right? People forget this stuff. So they were a very good defensive team that year, not because of LeBron James, but because of the guys that I mentioned that were covering for LeBron James. But the Lakers were a good team, no doubt. So oftentimes you'll hear LeBron James fans talk about, oh, the Lakers were in the #1 seed before the break happened. Once again, you guys are shortchanging what that break meant. So like I said, in March, the game stopped. They suspended the NBA. Everyone knows that March, April, those games that happened, those last 20 games of the season, let's say, right after the All-Star break, those are the dog days of the NBA season. Dog days of summer. Those are the tough games. Those are the times and games that teams lose when they shouldn't be losing, where teams make runs and maybe improve their position in the standings. The Lakers didn't have to worry about none of that stuff. A lot of those teams didn't have to do that. So who's to say the Lakers would have finished at the top seed after they would have played out the rest of the season? Because to me, that's when you really start to see teams make moves. Those last 15, 20 games, 25 games of the season, March, April, guys, before the playoffs start. So people are downplaying when the NBA went on a break, man. So people talk about, oh, they were the number 1 seed. Doesn't mean they would have ended up the number 1 seed. But let's take it a step further. They talk about the number 1 seed for the Lakers. That's great that year. But what happened to the Lakers the next season? Were they the top seed the next season? No, they weren't the top seed next season. Remember that? They actually had to play the Phoenix Suns in the first round as defending champions. And remember, the Lakers won the first game and then lost 4 games in a row. They lost 4 games to 1. Remember, LeBron James walked off the court early against the Phoenix Suns. This is as them as defending champions. So when we talk about we don't respect the bubble championship, it's all these things that I mentioned as far as the bubble itself. But also, it seemed like a fluke season for the Lakers. So you're telling me the only championship that they won, the only time they came close to winning a championship was 2020. They have not come close since, guys. And that's another indictment on LeBron James and him not maximizing his teammates. Him always asking for more trades, more free agents, destroying his team every year. This is what LeBron James did to the Lakers, man. So they had a really good team in 2020. Lost in the first round 2021. What happened the following season? They got Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony. Had all these guys on the team. He told us to keep the same energy. They didn't even make the play-in. So you went from a first-round exit. So you champions. Oh, let's go back. LeBron James' first season, no playoffs. Second season, Anthony Davis requests trade there. All of a sudden, you win a championship. Bubble year. That helped immensely. Following season, knocked out in the first round. Following season, no play-in. The following season, I believe they went to what? The Western Conference Finals under Darvin Ham, right? Then they got bounced out in the first round. Then they got bounced out again in the first round. This is all you're getting from the Lakers. Remember, when they went to the Western Conference Finals a couple of years back, they weren't close to making the finals. They got swept 4 games to nothing, guys. It wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. And remember, in 2020, people talk about this 2020 run. Anthony Davis led the entire postseason in points and win shares, guys. The entire postseason in points and win shares. But everyone act like LeBron James out there carrying people. He ain't had no help. Anthony Davis was doing his thing out there, dominating the entire postseason. He was the best player in the Lakers, hands down. But he ain't getting no finals MVP, right? But everyone, all the LeBron James fans, they'll tell you that Scottie Pippen should have won the MVP this year, or Dennis Rodman should have won the Finals MVP this season. But they have no energy for Anthony Davis to win the Finals MVP, or Kyrie Irving, some of his other seasons. No, but Anthony Davis was doing his thing. The very next season, the same thing. And in the year that they went to the Western Conference Finals against the Denver Nuggets and lost 4 games to nothing, Anthony Davis once again was leading them there. Already, he was leading the postseason in rebounds. I think the man was averaging like 14 or 15 rebounds per game throughout his 16 games in the postseason run. Led the postseason in block shots. He averaged over 3 blocks a game during that postseason run when they went to the Western Conference Finals. And they got destroyed by someone like Jamal Murray, by someone like Nikola Jokic. But remember, in that 2020 bubble run, guys like Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis were key members. Remember, in the series against the Denver Nuggets, guys, JaVale McGee started a couple of games. Dwight Howard started a couple of games for the Los Angeles Lakers for that series to go against Nikola Jokic. Put the bodies on him. Rotate Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, the JaVale McGees. Keep putting different defenders on him. Athletic guys, defensive-minded players. And it worked. But they get no credit. LeBron James out there carrying people all of a sudden. The bubble championship. Oh, if LeBron James' team didn't win it, then everybody would have respected. Nah, that's not the case, man. You guys don't seem to get it. Where have the Lakers been since? It's a fluke championship. They haven't been contenders since. A bubble year. The only year that they could win and look formidable. That 4-month layoff was huge, guys. Huge. LeBron James fans don't want to talk about this. So when Daryl Morey makes his comments and you have LeBron James fans over here talking about, oh, if any other team would have won it, then y'all would have respected it. It's only because it's LeBron James' team. Well, yes, that is true. One, because LeBron James, absolutely. But why? Because LeBron James is the one talking about how difficult it was. He's the one pumping himself up. Every chance LeBron James gets, 2016, that made him the greatest of all time, right? 2020, oh, it's the hardest championship ever. So once again, no one respects LeBron James, so no one respects his championship, especially when he's trying to say it's the hardest championship in the world. I haven't even mentioned the lack of competition. The teams that they faced, no one LeBron James fans will knock Michael Jordan's competition. And we know Michael Jordan played against some really great competition. But y'all don't keep the same energy for that 2020 Miami Heat team that the Lakers faced in the bubble. The number 5 seed Miami Heat that had Goran Dragic go down after 2 games. Goran Dragic missed 3 of the 5 games. Bam Adebayo missed, I believe, 2 of the 5 games. And it was Jimmy Butler out there with Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. You heard me correctly. LeBron James beat barista Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, Kelly Olynyk. These were the guys that the Lakers were playing against. And you guys are talking about Michael Jordan's competition. You guys sound insane. No one's impressed with any of the teams that the Lakers beat en route to that championship. And that 4-month layoff was key. Was key for them, guys. Key. Also, the Lakers were able to practice and do a lot of things that a lot of other teams weren't able to do, guys. No one wants to talk about this shadiness, the advantages that the Lakers had over some of these other teams, guys. And like I mentioned, this was a fluke championship for the Lakers. Where have they been since? The Lakers have the same amount of seasons since LeBron James has been there, under 40 wins, as they do having 50 wins. So in 2020, they won 52 games. And just this last season, they won 50 games. 2 times, guys. LeBron James has been there since 2019. He has 2 seasons under 40 wins, 2 seasons above 50 or more. That's not impressive. Once again, how many times have they finished in the play-in? Almost every single year except for last season and the bubble, guys. Those are the only years that they weren't a play-in team. Every other year they're a play-in team. So once again, that 2020 championship looks suspicious. It looks shady. It looks fraudulent, guys, because the Lakers haven't been contenders any other year. Never any other year have they been a contender. Have they been in the NBA Finals or close to the NBA Finals, guys? Those are the facts, man. So all you weird LeBron James fans out there, LeBron James himself trying to pump that championship up, no one's ever going to respect that the same as a regular NBA season championship where you play 82 games and then you go right into the postseason, man. That 4-month layoff, the fact that the Lakers had advantages that other teams didn't have, the fact, like I said, that the Lakers have not been relevant, have never won the division like that. They've never been, like I said, they haven't been back to the finals since then. It's a fluke championship. They're in the play-in every year, essentially, guys. And not to mention all of the free throw advantages that the Lakers have had since LeBron James has been there. His fans never want to talk about that plus 500, the plus 505 in back-to-back seasons. Remember, they were plus 1,000 in 2 years combined. Plus 1,000. Still losing, still only in the play-in. LeBron James missing games for no reason. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.